Good day, and brace yourself because today's royal headlines are moving faster than a removal van reversing out of Windsor at dawn. One moment you are sipping your tea, the next moment Prince Andrew is apparently packing boxes, unplugging Sky TV, and preparing for what can only be described as a very frosty retirement tour of Sandringham. Yes, this is one of those royal stories that refuses to go away, like a glitter spill at Buckingham Palace. Just when you think it is done, it sparkles back into the headlines. And right now, the big question echoing across Britain is simple. Is Prince Andrew finally on the move, or is this just another false alarm with better lighting and more fencing? Quick favor before we go any further. If you are enjoying this royal roller coaster already, hit that subscribe button and tap the notifications bell. It costs nothing, takes a second, and helps keep royal top stories rolling. Thank you kindly if you did. Now, back to the drama. Let us start at Royal Lodge, that sprawling 30-bedroom mansion with a rent so low it makes your council tax bill look like highway robbery. According to the latest chatter, removal vans have been spotted, Sky TV has been unplugged, and activity levels are suddenly higher than a corgi spotting a dropped sausage. On paper, Prince Andrew agreed months ago to hand back his 75-year lease. Technically, he had up to 12 months to leave. Realistically, though, the Crown seems to have pressed the fast-forward button. This is no gentle nudge. This feels more like a firm royal escort to the exit, with the door already halfway closed. Here's where it gets interesting. Insiders suggest Andrew could be out before his birthday, possibly even before the week is done. That is not a slow, dignified departure. That is a grab your coat, the taxi is here situation. And where is he heading? Sandringham, specifically Wood Farm or the nearby Marsh Farm area, which has reportedly been undergoing a quiet but very intense glow-up. New fencing, upgrades, general signs of life. A few months ago, anyone visiting would have said, no chance someone is moving in here soon. Fast forward to now, and suddenly it looks almost cozy. Well, as cozy as exile gets. Think of it like this. Royal Lodge was the penthouse suite. Sandringham is the serviced apartment you move into when the credit card stops working. Same postcode prestige, very different energy. Andrew's new life is shaping up to be quieter, smaller, and a lot further from the spotlight. Or at least that's the plan. Now, naturally, everyone is asking the next question. What happens to Royal Lodge? Does it sit empty, echoing with memories of better days and controversial headlines? Not quite. The property returns to the Crown Estate, that wonderfully confusing system where the royals sort of own things but also do not, and money flows around like a very polite game of pass the parcel. Royal Lodge will not be popping up on a property website for you and me. Instead, it will likely go to another high-profile renter, someone with deep pockets and a talent for keeping a low profile. The house stays royal adjacent, but Andrew does not. Here's where the mood shifts, because while the logistics are fascinating, the public sentiment is brutal. Sympathy for Prince Andrew is in extremely short supply. Many people feel he's lucky to be relocating at all, rather than facing consequences far more severe. Wherever he goes, criticism follows. Too big, too comfortable, too privileged. Even if he pitched a tent, someone would argue the tent should go to someone else. That's the reality he now lives in. This move is not just about property, it's about containment. Out of sight, out of trouble, and hopefully out of headlines. Or at least that's the wish. But royal news never travels alone, does it? Because just as one controversial duke is being quietly shuffled around Norfolk, another royal storyline is warming up across the country. Enter Meghan, the Invictus Games, and the possibility of a very public return to the United Kingdom. Yes, you heard that correctly. Meghan's potential return is suddenly back on the table thanks to the Invictus Games countdown. The games are set to take place in Birmingham next summer, and tradition says there's a 12-month countdown event. Meghan has attended these before. She's deeply involved, which means there are active plans for her to be in the United Kingdom this summer. Cue the sharp intake of breath. This is not just a visit, it's a diplomatic puzzle wrapped in a media frenzy and tied with a security headache. Prince Harry is still pushing for full police protection, the kind involving armed officers. If that request goes through, it opens the door for Meghan to arrive surrounded by official security, standing beside Harry in Birmingham, cameras flashing, headlines exploding, and public reactions split right down the middle. The irony here is thick enough to spread on toast. The Sussexes could be protected by British police while attending a major UK event, even as debates rage about policing priorities and public trust. Behind the scenes, there would be meetings, negotiations, risk assessments, and enough paperwork to fell a small forest. This would not be a casual visit. It would be a carefully choreographed operation. And make no mistake, reactions would be loud. Supporters would cheer, protesters would protest, commentators would talk themselves hoarse. Meghan's return would dominate the news cycle faster than you can say royal protocol. For the royal family, it's a balancing act. Invictus is a respected event with global importance. Ignoring it is not an option. Engaging with it brings its own complications. So here we are, watching two very different royal journeys unfold at the same time. Prince Andrew quietly retreating from a grand lodge to a more secluded corner of the royal estate, his world shrinking by design, and Meghan potentially stepping back onto British soil in a blaze of attention, controversy, and cameras, her presence expanding the conversation once again. It's almost poetic, really. One royal figure fading into enforced quiet, another royal figure threatening to light up the summer headlines before the year is even halfway done. Same family, wildly different trajectories. And that's why the royal family never stops fascinating us. Just when you think the story is slowing down, someone packs a van, unplugs the television, or books a flight that could shake the entire narrative. At Royal Top Stories, we'll be watching every move, every hint, and every headline. Thank you very much for watching.